This is a great example of a question where you cannot be intimidated by the story. They are just telling you everything you need. This is purely about following instructions. So we have this equation, but then the more important thing is when they ask us what all this stuff means, they're asking us basically to read the story and understand the units. What do the variables mean? So let's take a look. The function P gives the predicted population in millions of a certain country for the period from 1984 to 2018, where T is the number of years after 1984. So T is years after 1984, P is the population of millions. According to the model, what is the best interpretation of the statement P of 8 is approximately equal to 32.91? So we do need to understand function notation because we need to understand that that 8 right there is representing the T. So what is T? It's the number of years since 1984. So there's a little bit of math. Actually, no, there's not math. Let's go to the choices, right? Because 8 is a number of years after 1984, so it doesn't have anything to do with being in 1984, right? That's the starting year according to this. So that gets rid of A and B very quickly. Then I would expect them to make me add, right? 1984 plus 8 years is 1992. But that's not here because they didn't do that, right? 8 years after 1984, that is literally just us substituting the number 8 for the T in the story and just kind of reading it now with a number. That seems right. Now, 32.91 years, that's confusing the population, and so that's the Y. So it's definitely C here. And we can continue with it just to make sure, right? The predicted population of this country was approximately 32.91. So another way to have written this thing that they gave us in simpler terms would have been P of 8 is equal to 32.91. So that takes away some of the words, but it still preserves that same idea. We have an X value, we have a Y value. In this case, it's T and it's P. And it's just about reading function notation and ascribing those right units to that. This is a very common thing when we have these story questions on the SAT, is there isn't really any math to do. You just need to follow instructions. And so don't get overwhelmed by this. Like, you cannot get this wrong. You cannot hesitate on this. This is a must answer question, though we're halfway through the section, right? So we're getting to a point where they are starting to get harder, but a lot of that difficulty is mostly in your head. It's trying to intimidate you. Just stay focused and get this right.